Very.
Being a PA.
I keep asking myself how I made it this far. I keep asking myself how I made it. Yeah. How I made it this far. I keep asking myself how I made it. Oh Lord have mercy, how I made it this far. Yeah. I keep asking myself how I made it. Oh Lord, how I made it this far. It was you. Yes. Jesus, I made it. How I made it this far. I said, I don't know how I made it. Yeah, how I made it this far. How I made it this far. Yeah, it was you. You keep on pulling me through, and I pray for Jesus. I can't pay you, but I sure can show you thank you. Yes, I made it. Heartaches and pain. Yes, I made it. I made it. Yes, I made it.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds good. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Self Checkout Show. We are glad to have you here tonight. As we do each and every week, we do ask when you once you come in and share. We are excited about this show tonight, and
I think they know who you are.
my mama, I see mama already on. Hey, mama. Hello,
Hey,
hello,
Miss
hello.
Helen.
Uh,
Hey, Mama.
man, we're gonna have some fun tonight. You were just listening to "How I Made It" by Tim White and Refocus. Them boys are singing.
Bad.
Them boys are singing. You all make sure you go and pick that project up. That whole project is amazing, and they have been nominated for a Stellar Award. And we are rooting for them and hoping that they bring that home. My good friends, Pastor Tim White and James Anderson, the Anderson boys, Deontay McDaniels. We are really, really excited about them. Let me mute myself here. Hold on, because I hear my own voice and I shouldn't. All right, that's much better. All right. Uh, I always get on people about muting stuff, and I didn't mute my own stuff. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a good night tonight. I'm so glad to have my friends, my sisters on with me tonight. None other, y'all see, they start clowning already. None other than
Off me.
Lisa Sheree Smith and the thorn in my side, April Shannon.
I almost legally
Definitely
you.
talking about her. It's not me.
I almost legally
Oh my God. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
I'm okay. Lisa too close.
I
She,
told you 6 feet. What questions you got for me?
First of all, this is my house.
So we get this over with. Okay. All
see,
right.
I am where I am.
y'all are close. Both of y'all fully vaccinated.
Next question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Next question.
okay.
Let's move on, bro. Thank you. I done had the bid, okay? I still got the antibodies. Mind your business. Florida God, won't he do it?
Oh my God. It's going to be a fun night, everybody. I want to thank those of you that are watching by Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, all of you, thank you so much for tuning in to the self-checkout show tonight. And those of you that are going to watch the replay, we want you to know that we appreciate you just as much. Hey, Rissa, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We're going to get into our discussion in just a few moments, but uh, I want to actually talk about briefly um, news that actually matters. And once we do this, then we'll catch up with our guests and get into our discussion. Of course, as you know, it has been 1 whole year since the George Floyd murder. I've never called it a death. I called it what it is. It was a murder. That man was murdered. And a year ago, this happened. And now today, listen to this. According to the Daily Mail, dailymail.com, the family of a teenager in Long Island says that they are suing her school for $2 million after administrators would not publish her poem about George Floyd's death in the school magazine, saying that it was not appropriate and possibly dangerous. The young girl is 16. Her name is Ruby Ray. She had written a poem called Derek Chauvin's Ode to George Floyd, a dark sonnet. Her parents, obviously who are white, is being discriminated against by her mostly white school because of her poem, because her poem promoted the cause of African Americans. The notice of claim, which alleges a violation of Ruby's First Amendment rights, came on the 1 year anniversary of Floyd's death, although the Ray family chalks that up to being coincidence. She says, I thought this was a free country and you have the right to express yourself any way you choose. Wow. So the notice alleges that administrators at the school banned her poem, get this, and I quote, in order to please, protect, promote, and defend white racism in respondents' school community and white racism in general. Meanwhile, the black students in that school make up less than 1%, according to their education department. How about that? How about that? 16-year-old girl.
I can see
16-year-old
why.
white girl.
Yeah, I can see why they banned it because it doesn't fit the agenda of the 99%.
Right.
So
Pretty much.
it doesn't help the 99%. So the 1% really doesn't matter. The 1% isn't going to make or break the school.
No.
But that
Yeah.
99%, that's where all
Yeah.
the donations coming from. So I understand why
Yeah.
they did it. Is it right?
No.
No, it's never
Not
right.
at all.
It's never right. If it doesn't fit into their agenda, they'll do whatever to get rid of it.
Lisa, do you think we'll see any police reform since this horrific murder?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, how long has this really been going on?
Yeah.
Slavery. Okay. Yeah. I just got my FOID card in the mail.
Oh, Lord.
Lisa don't play. I'm sorry. Yes. But I'll be armed and dangerous. Don't play with me. I have 2 boys, right? When they are out and about, even though they are 25 and 26, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So I need to know where they're going. Are they going to the south side? Are they going to the west side? Will they be in Humboldt Park? Where exactly are you going to be?
Yep.
And call me when you get to your destination, and then call me again when you're on your way home. I shouldn't have to live like that, but I do.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about police reform, think about the people that become police. Let's start there. Why did they even choose to be a police officer?
Yeah. Makes sense. But sad to say that this school, the powers that be, chose not to publish this girl's poem because it promotes the African American agenda. And I hope that they win that lawsuit for that $2 million. I really do. They can give me 5% since I'm promoting her. So, well, we'll see about that. I'm
we'll
gonna
take
tweet
our
her.
one from you.
Right? Yeah.
Honestly, think about what happened at her school, because in corporate America, I'm going to leave the company that I work for. I'm not going to say their name, but we had someone that brought it to my attention, and their concern was, when all of this happened a year ago, why didn't our company say anything? They didn't release any messages. And so I took it upon myself to go to the higher ups and ask them. And they said, they brought the information to the board. They said, this is what we want to send out to everyone, because everyone's tense. And the majority of the people that are in warehouses, customer service, look like me. And my brown sisters. The board of directors said no.
Because it didn't fit their agenda. It doesn't fit
didn't
their
fit
agenda.
their agenda. Yeah. Wow. So, April, what's been going on with you, young lady?
Nothing much. Same old. Grinding, at work, at home, still working, doing the same thing, still living my life like it's golden, though. And I'm healthy, thank God.
And you are literally right now in your studio.
I am literally in my studio.
You laying down tracks?
We have, but we haven't done anything recently.
Okay.
My other businesses are flourishing, so.
Yeah, right. The cake lady.
Yeah.
So I want to welcome you back to the show. I'm glad to have you back. Lisa, this is your first time here.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. I will be on my best behavior.
Hold on. Miss Helen says, same here. I'm always concerned about my son's well-being, no matter how old he is. Miss Helen, this man is a dinosaur. He all right. This man is a dinosaur. He's okay.
I'll tell you my response to that off the air. So, Lisa, what's going on with you, young lady? You got two grown boys. What's happening in your life?
Oh my God, I am so excited. So I gave my sons like a full year to get out.
Okay.
Because I want my life back.
You want
so yes, glory to God. Won't he do it? Huh? It's about me. It's about me. So the oldest one, shame on you. So the oldest one is going to he moved downstate with his girlfriend, and they are going to be moving to Atlanta. And their father, famous and legend's father, lives over there. So it's his turn.
It's his turn. Okay, I got you.
It's his turn.
I got you.
Legend is trying to figure out where he wants to move. So I think it's either going to be Dallas, or he might follow his brother. And
okay.
I'm good with it, because it's time for me to enjoy my life. Thank God I'm still young and kind of cute.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to just jump right on into our discussion. And it is tonight, we are closing out our series entitled Boundaries and Why They Are Necessary for Healthy Relationships. We've looked at a lot of different relationships within this past month. And tonight we're going to take a look at another type of relationship and boundaries that are sometimes crossed in said relationship. And that is, should I take marital advice from my single friend? Now, before we get started on that, I want you guys to watch this video and let's talk about it. Check this out. Mhm.
Recently posted this. I'm not even drunk.
What
yet.
is that?
Quora.com recently posed this question to readers that I thought would make for an interesting discussion. Is it bad for single people to give advice to married people and vice versa?
Interesting.
Ladies, when it comes to dating and relationships and advice, should people stay in their lane?
I think it depends. I think it depends. I think that I think there's boundaries. Obviously, every relationship is different, so I don't think anybody can speak on anything if you ain't in it.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Married, not married, single, not single. It's not your life. You really can't speak about anything unless you're the one living in it. You can give your perspective. You can share your own personal story. I even have talked to you about this, where it can get interesting with being married and then divorced, and then people are like, well, you can't speak on marriage, Jeannie, because you're divorced now. What?
That's honestly...
How does that make sense?
Yes. No, that's honestly the number one thing that I've experienced. I noticed already. First of all, we have a dope fan base. Like, okay, this year. I love everybody who was able to just kind of go through this with me, because it is a journey and it's healing, it's learning yourself again. But that doesn't mean that I still can't share my perspective on what I went through and what didn't work from my marriage. And actually now, you don't know it until you're in it, but now that I'm in it, I'm meeting, of course, so many divorcees, who tell me things that didn't work out for them, and I can relate to it as well. And it made me realize that when I was going through it, I actually only seeked out advice of married people. I mean, my counselor's married, my pastor's married, and I realized they give great advice, but I can't connect like I can with the people who failed to be able to catch some of the things that unravel and that you can't save in the marriage that I was in now. So what I'm saying is, take advice from people's personal stories, learn from it at least, because today, had I followed and listened to some of the divorcees that I didn't then, I might have saw some things that I could have, managed to change about my relationship then.
I even think that if somebody has...
Wow. All right. So let's just jump right on in there, because these ladies are talking some good stuff. And I found that clip and I said, well, that's interesting. I really want to share that. So as you all know, I posted a question on Facebook yesterday. And it was that basic question: should single people or should married people take advice from single people? Now, to my surprise, the few comments that did come in were mostly from men
Who said
saying yes. They were like, yeah, we'll take the advice. But there were a couple of young ladies who inboxed me personally and said, no way. So let's reword that question tonight. And the question is, should single people with no experience in marriage offer marital advice? Now, that changes the game up a little bit. So let's go there. April, let's go.
Single people who have marital experience, yes, I could take plenty of advice from, because one, as we're talking, whatever question I asked or whatever situation we were discussing, you may have gone through that, and you can give me some advice that may help me along with mine. Single people who have no marital experience, it depends on what the question is. Depends on what we're talking about. I can learn anything from anybody, or I can take anybody's advice, even if it is just from a regular single person with no marital experience. It's up to me if I act out on it. I give anybody the opportunity to say something, but it's up to me if I act out on the advice that they give me.
Lisa.
So here's my stance on that. So I am a divorced woman. And during that rocky part of my marriage, I did not go to my single friends to ask them anything. But let me tell you why. I did not want them in my personal business. And I didn't want me to say something to somebody and then it comes back. So I went to someone that was she is a minister, and she was actually married at that time too. And so I only took advice from her. So I wanted to make sure that, and at that time I did not believe in divorce.
Okay.
But God made a way of escape. Glory to God. But yeah, so I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what
Lord,
it is.
I'm running.
But I prefer my parents have been married over 50 some years, and so I look at them and I see what they've gone through. I see longevity. A lot of people don't have that. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have that representation. So they're coming from what society would call a dysfunctional family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then in their instance, they don't know who to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go to somebody that's married? But they might be having issues too. And that married person might just be like, I can't help you because I have my own issues, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk to you right now, or you can't give me advice because I'm not going to receive it the right way.
So Danielle, who is a faithful viewer of the self-checkout show, she initially said no, but she then said she changed her answer once I reworded the question. And so here's where I am. I too have been married. Divorced for a long time, single and loving it. But because I have that experience, if I am asked about something in relation to a person's marriage, if I have experienced that, I will speak. If I am asked, I do not think that it is wise for anybody, single or married, to just put your nose in some business that don't belong to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay? Because a marriage is sacred.
Correct.
Between two people. And, you know, there's really no room for a third party in a marriage. My brother is on. He said he is divorced twice, single and loving it. That's another show with him, but yeah. But actually,
we just want to know. Right? For the third time, will you get it right?
I think he might want to try it again. I don't know, but I just don't feel that you should put your nose in business that don't belong to you. And you have married people, I think, should have married people mentors.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now we have a problem here because, and again, we're closing out this series, Boundaries, because what happens in a lot of cases is that the single person goes too far in and oversteps
their boundaries,
some lines, right? That they should not be crossing.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the case, April, do we not blame the married person that invited them into the business? Come on,
absolutely.
Talk.
Absolutely, you blame them because I can't overstep my bounds about something that I don't know about. First of all, I have no business talking to you if you have never had the marital experience to try to get some advice from you about what's going on in my marriage. Now, again, like I said before, it depends on what we're talking about. It depends on what we're having a conversation about. If we're having a conversation about sex and my single friend out here getting it every night and she a little more experienced than I am and I've been married for 6 years, then talk to me about it. Teach me something.
I'm a born again virgin, so she's not talking about me, honey.
Oh my God.
Watch yourself. Glory to God.
So if she know how to do some tricks that I don't know how to do, then teach me, grasshopper. I will learn. Am I talking about Lisa? Absolutely not. She's saved.
Sanctified and filled with the Holy Spirit.
I'm just saying, she's saying right now. A just man has fallen 7 times.
That's why I don't like her at all. I do not know why he asked the two of us to do this thing together.
I have no idea.
But I have like-minded people surrounded in my marital relationship. We try our best to hang out with married people. Do we have some single friends that hang out with us? Yes, we do. But they single with somebody they striving to become married with. So we're become mentors to those people.
Yeah, because she
Okay.
only makes my skirts. And macaroni and cheese. No stand does that.
I'm finna Lila you. But I mean, certain stuff you can get advice from single people when it pertains to your marriage, but everything is not for the single mind to hear. It's not, especially when it comes to my marriage, and we're coming up on our 6th year anniversary. So
Yeah. Troy agrees and says sometimes singles tend to want to add their advice
in situations that they've never experienced. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Knock, knock.
he'll be back.
Knock, knock.
Here's a commercial break.
Pause for station identification.
He's coming back.
Come on through.
On one.
recall having
Come on. I hear
I'm
voices. Don't
I'm
go
sorry,
into the light, Carolyn.
Stay away from the light. No,
I didn't know I was gone. I didn't even know I was gone. I'm sorry. I'm just talking. I'm just a talking. Lisa, being divorced, do you recall having anyone? Because I would imagine, and I could be wrong, but you can let us in. That you mentioned earlier during the rocky part of your marriage. Did you have any single people that you did talk to about that part at that time?
No, but it was not because they were single. It was because I just wanted sound advice from a woman that was also a minister. We were talking about this briefly, that here's an example. If she came and started talking about Stan and say he whooped her butt last night, right? My issue would be, I'm loyal to her. You see what I'm saying? So now, because she gave me information that I really didn't need to know, if I come visit, I'm really not going to be that nice. And then he's going to know that she had a conversation with me and she shouldn't have had a conversation with me.
Yeah.
Troy said, Lisa, he want to know what kind of Holy Ghost you have.
Wait a minute. You want me to shout?
Don't tell nothing in this studio.
Troy, I'll talk to you. I'll be in your DM tonight, okay?
Troy,
So
you know
so check this out. Y'all are crazy.
Just pray, church.
So I sent those of you that are watching. First of all, thank you, everybody. Pastor Martise, I see you. I stepped out for a minute. I didn't try to, but I did. But I'm back. Patrina, hey, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. All of you, please, if you don't mind, share this broadcast tonight. This is good information and just something to live off of. I sent the ladies an article from Yvonne Chase. And it was real deep. It was a deep article. And I want to read a little bit of that article that I sent them. She starts by saying that she is unmarried and she does give people that are married, she does give them advice. She says, quote, I'm unmarried and I give out marriage advice. Well, I don't go around advising people on their marriage unless, of course, they ask. And even then, it depends on how I feel. But I do write about marriage with the intent of giving you something to think about. She goes on to say, let me say this. Just because you're married doesn't make you an expert on marriage. And just because you've been married a long time doesn't mean you have a great marriage. Quantity has nothing to do with quality. She says, while I won't let anyone control my decision to marry, many of the marriages, watch this, many of the marriages closest to me make me happy to be single.
Wow.
Now, let's just put a pin in that right there.
Wow.
Hey, Bishop Marshall, my cousin is on. Hey, thank you for joining us tonight. So this woman, and y'all, I'm telling you the honest to God's truth. I have said that many times. Sometimes I probably even verbally stated it, but I know for sure I have thought it since I've been divorced. Looking at the way some of y'all married folks are, I don't want to get married. Because if it's gonna be like that, I'm good. Leave me alone. I'm decent. So April, and I want to go with you here. She says this, that yes, she does advise married people if they ask, and she clearly is in no rush to get married because, in her words, and I agree, looking at how some of these married folks act, I don't need to get married. Go there.
So I have a problem with that because now you're generalizing off of your circle or off of her circle according to what she saw. All marriages are not like that. And I say that because as a woman, women have a habit of doing that same thing. Every person they've dated or a few of the people that they've dated have been bad apples. And then when they move on to the next man, they put them in the same boat or generalize them from the same experience they've had with that bad apple to say that the next man is going to do it. Each couple, each single person is their own individual couple, their own individual person, and they all have their own individual circumstances. Whatever or whoever she's around that's married and she's trying to live off of their example, I would suggest she get new married couple friends because my marriage is not like that. And I can promise you, I've had people who did not think my marriage was going to make it. One, we met on April the 21st. Two, our first kiss was on April the 28th. We got engaged July the 7th.
Well, come on.
3 months later, we got engaged. The following year, we got married. We've been married. It'll be 6 years in July that we've been married. People didn't think we was going to make it a year because everybody had an opinion that we didn't know each other long enough. Right. We hadn't learned anything about each other. It's only been 3 months. My comment to them is, who are you to tell me? Because we've been there. And I like to encourage single people. Everybody wants to be in a relationship. Everybody wants to find their soulmate or find out who they're supposed to be with. But you have to know you first. You really have to know you first. You got to get yourself together. And talking to some of my friends, they say, well, I've never been by myself. I've always felt the need to have somebody in your life. You don't need to have somebody in your life. You need to get yourself together so you can get the person that you need. You just want to be with somebody all the time. You don't have to be with somebody all the time. Learn yourself first. And you can't keep going in 5, 6, 8, 25, 50 different relationships and everybody breaking up with you and you think everybody got a problem but you. At some point, you got to take responsibility for yourself. I tell my friends, when you break up with somebody, you need to give yourself 30 days.
She said it to me.
30 days.
Did I hit it?
She did. I told her you need to give yourself 30 days. When you break up with somebody, give yourself 30 days so you can self-assess yourself and figure out what you need to do different or what you have to do different. And I'm tired of hearing ladies talking about, well, they're just going to take me as I am. You can't even take you as you are. Right. You know how we know? Because then you wouldn't keep putting on these feather eyelashes. You wouldn't keep going out here trying to cut up on yourself, trying to make your body look good. Because if you was okay with how you really looked, you wouldn't be trying to do all of that. Yeah, we wear makeup because I like to look pretty too. But it ain't because I'm ugly.
But wait a
different.
Okay.
You working on them. You ain't cut them out.
I ain't cut them out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You working on them. You ain't cut them out. Now, I just want a tummy tuck because I'm fluffy. I'm good. I don't want to be fluffy. I'm trying to lose weight. I can't lose weight, so I'm just going to stick with my fluffiness for right now until I come up with $5,000 for the tummy tuck.
Praise God.
But until then, people have to learn to be comfortable with who they are and be comfortable in your singleness.
I think that this is another problem that you are really, really nailing. And I did see your Facebook post earlier, and I shared it because I was in total agreement with that. And now you said something that was key. Now we're talking about, you know, this single, married, advice, boundaries. We're talking about all of that, and I get it. But let's just go into what you're saying. I want to agree with you, and I want to say that I too know. I think we all know somebody who cannot keep a man or a woman, and every time the breakup happens, Lisa, it's always the other person's fault.
With the H, is that the hyper? I get bored, and these brothers that be in my DM, they just talk crap, and then I look at them because I think they're kind of cute, and then they open their mouths, and I be like, I gotta go.
See, I told her to do the 30-day thing,
and I did it.
She did the 30-day thing, and then on the 32nd day, she went out on a date.
We're on Facebook. How do you know somebody doesn't like me? God damn.
On the 32nd day, you heard what I said? Like you gave her 30 days and then just jumped right into it on the
but she did what you told her to do.
Thank you.
And failed.
Well, she went 32 days.
So check it out. See, I'm gonna
She learned nothing.
Quit talking. So I can admit this about myself. So Sister Valencia Lacey, who is my covering, one of my covering.
How many covers you got?
I got two. Pastor DeAndre, who is my pastor, he covers me, and then,
one of them is a weighted blanket. They heavy, Doc.
Yes.
Okay.
So what she pointed out to me is that I have never been alone. So I've been a single mother forever. Yeah, I know I don't look like it, but yes, I've been a single mother. I've been a single mother for a long time. She was like, Lisa, even when your sons leave out the house, you still got the dog. So the truth of the matter is I really have never been by myself.
But you have to learn how to be comfortable with being single.
Oh, with the single stuff.
Right. You have to learn how to be comfortable with being single. And after you get comfortable with being single, then things start to change for you. I'm not saying once you get comfortable that you have to stay there. You do not have to stay there because at some point, somebody is going to come along and it's going to be just like the scripture says, that a man who findeth a wife, he gonna find me. And that's because you've worked on yourself and now you have been made presentable before his throne. Hello?
Yeah. And what I was saying was, and I get what she's saying about, you know, spend some time to learn who you are. And that's fine. But God in the garden, right? He had Adam. He made Adam, right? And he didn't allow him to be alone for that long, did he? What day did he create Eve? What day was it? What day was it?
I'm asking you. Because Adam was alone first.
Exactly. But he still created her because
he gave him time by himself.
Anyway, colored folks always just want to put a spin on everything.
Wasn't no spin. That's what it is.
So I desire companionship. I like to do things.
That's why you got the dog.
Listen, a dog is an animal. Thank you. I'll just leave it right there. But no, honestly, I listen, Linda. Linda, I desire companionship. And did you just smack my ear? And there's nothing wrong with it. So I don't want all these single females running around talking about, oh my God, I need to be by myself for like 20 years. Well, by the time you're 60.
But there's nothing wrong with that. There's some people who actually do that.
Well, that's good for them. I'm not her.
But again, I say you don't have to stay there.
Like, amen. I did 30 days.
Now we've kind of shifted into something else, and it's okay because I think
It all
needs
ties
to.
in.
It does. We'll get back on track, but I think that this really needs to be said. And Pastor Troy said, and you all are talking about it. He said the fear of being alone is a terrifying battle, and I do believe that there are. I think it was April that said that. I do believe that there are some people who don't know how to be single. They don't know how. They always have to have somebody, to call their own, they boo, their bae, or whatever. And they still haven't, they haven't taken care of their own. Patrina said it earlier. She said your wholeness needs to be intact. Because we have all these broken people still clinging on to relationship after relationship after relationship and never becoming whole themselves from the original relationship that broke them in the first place.
Yep.
Now let's talk about that.
Yep. That's the generalization, though.
So I'll talk about it. When I was married, and then I started going through things, I got to a point where I literally was at the bottom, at my low point. Okay. And I didn't call my single friends. At that point, I didn't even call my married friends. I called my mama. And I would cry on the phone with her. And one day I was at home and it got so bad that I woke up crying, went to sleep crying, woke up crying, went to sleep crying. And it wasn't until I heard God's voice. And God told me, Lisa, get up and live. So at the end of the day, my advice at that point, it didn't come from anybody. It came straight from the Father. And that was the only way that I really started to go through becoming whole, because I had hit a brick wall. So you're talking about depression. You're talking about me being an emotional eater. So when I would get upset, I didn't call anybody. I went to Walmart and I purchased Ben and Jerry's and I ate the whole pint. Why do y'all think I work out 6-7 days a week?
You still eating the whole pint?
No, I don't eat the whole pint.
Oh, okay.
Just a teaspoon every now and then, huh? But that's what happened to me. So again, I didn't call my single friends. I didn't call the married friends. They would not have been able. Go ahead.
Hey, baby. He just commented. Go ahead.
Stan!
Obviously, that's her husband.
Stan! Stop it! What did he say?
And he made a good point. He says God cannot direct you to your boo, bae, or Boaz. If you cannot be by yourself, you hear from him first, receive the instructions, then move in the spirit. And I'm all for that. I agree with all of that. And that furthers what I said, and we all agree that. And some of you that are listening, watching right now, I really, really feel this. Don't you jump in another relationship
until you fix yourself.
Until you are whole yourself. Don't get in another relationship and don't get in nobody's bed but your own alone.
Say it again.
Well.
Until you fix yourself, because listen, you're really making matters worse.
Yep.
By
what actually happens for us single women, when we go from one relationship, and it wasn't even a relationship. You fly by nights. You fly by, right? And then that didn't work out, and then you get into another relationship. And so what I used to do, and I'm just going to be real, I used to, if part of their character reminded me of my ex-husband, I did track back in the day. I am a runner on purpose. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I wouldn't even give that person an opportunity again, because he's still taking up residency up here. So when he's no longer taking residency up here, then you can truly start the dating process if that's what you choose to do.
Okay. Let me get um let me get back to this article from Yvonne Chase, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. She says, when it comes to advice, what I offer is rooted in biblical truth. She goes on to say, let me make a bold statement. If the marriage advice you offer isn't rooted in biblical truth, it's bad advice. God created marriage, and it does not work without the advice in his manual, which is the Bible. She then says, while I can certainly understand the thinking that says a single person is not qualified to give marriage advice, all of that goes out the window when we look at Paul and Jesus, who were both single.
Right.
Bam. So there we have it. Can you take marital advice from someone that's single? Sure you can. The Apostle Paul never married. And obviously, Jesus Christ himself was a single man.
I know that's right, Troy. I know that's right.
God told me that I was the common person in all. Now, let me tell you something. This statement that you're looking at on your screen, people, this is taking ownership of your stuff.
I know that's right.
And that shows growth and maturity, in which a lot of people do not own. Because, and I was getting ready to say a few minutes ago, all of these different relationships that you get into, every time they end, it's always the other person.
I said that earlier.
Something's wrong with that.
Right.
Something is wrong with that. Yep. You have to take some time. Come on, with this by yourself thing. You have to take some time. And sometimes it ain't gonna be no 30 days. Sometimes you need 30 months.
Yep.
Okay. To do self-checkout.
You better put your name in there. Come on.
I like how I did that. Come on. You need to do some self-checkout, because I'm pretty certain that if you've been in 6 relationships in 6 years and they all ended, something is wrong somewhere in you, my friend. Pastor Marti says, don't go to Boaz because you'll still be by yourself. He did die the day after they got married, didn't he?
Did you snore? She sure did. Can we edit that? You don't want to hear the snort ever again.
That's what I'm talking about. A soul detox. A soul detox. That's what you need. A soul detox. And
I agree with that 100%. And I have done it a lot. Not sometimes I'll put out posts and I'm talking about mind, body, and spirit. And I do it for a reason. I do it really for myself. To be honest with you, I put those posts out there, but 8 times out of 10, I am ministering to myself. So yeah.
Okay.
Detox is needed. It's needed. If you have to, there's a connection between the mind and the heart, right?
Yeah.
And if the mind is not right,
the heart ain't gonna be right.
The heart's definitely not gonna be right. So that means I've got to clear everything out. Otherwise, it's unstable.
That's why I say you cannot place all men in a box because of what one man did to you. If one man cheated on you, all men are not cheaters.
Right.
You just have to find the right one.
Well, he has to find me. I'm not looking.
That was general.
Oh, that was general.
About you.
Oh, I like this right here. I like this right here. Marriage won't heal you, and being single won't kill you.
Come on, Patrina.
I like that right there.
I'm with you.
A bumper sticker or a t-shirt?
T-shirt.
That's a t-shirt for sure. Yeah, we don't do bumper stickers, ma'am.
Nothing on this card.
We were talking before we came on live tonight, and it was something really serious and important that I wanted to bring up now. I believe it was Lisa making a point that obviously she and April are very, very close. Lisa, as she has as she has told us, she is single. Lisa is single. April is married almost 6 years. Um, so what happens now if April and Stanley are going through tough times? God forbid, but this is just hypothetical. They're going through a tough time, and Lisa knows about the tough time. And her being single, yet divorced, she's been married before, offers you some advice. And she being a good friend and sister to you, you know she has your best interest at heart. But now this is where it gets tricky, because this is why you all have to be careful who you let speak into your life and who you listen to for advice. Because what happens when she whoever, your friend, your sister, your brother, gives you what they deem is good advice, and it probably is, but it's an area that you don't think they should be in. Now let's talk about that.
So I'll say it like this. Even though I've been married and I've been divorced, I have talked to married folks that may be going through things. And as soon as they start running their mouth, the first thing I do, my piece of advice is, you all need to go to marital counseling. I can't help you. Period. Because if somebody I know that's been married for 20 years and they're about to throw everything away, and I know it can be fixed, get to a counselor. I'm all for counseling. All of it. Get some marital counseling. Who married you? Hopefully they still married. But go seek some help from somebody that has experience, from somebody that will. If I'm super close to April, I need to be objective, and I'm not going to be, because I'm her cheerleader, right? And if I'm her cheerleader, I'm not thinking about what Stan is. I'm all trying to just make sure she's good and she's saying.
You're going to be partial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm not Team Stan. I love you, Stan, but that's my brother.
She just wants his macaroni and cheese.
I really do want his mac and cheese. All right. But seriously, that's really how I feel about it. When married people are having their issues, I want them to seek counseling so that they can make their marriage work. Because again, I did not believe in divorce until I actually went through one. But I'm not going to say you should get a divorce. No.
That's not even biblical.
Right. Not at all.
It's not even biblical.
No.
To tell somebody to get a divorce.
No, you don't. I'm not giving that advice. You crazy?
But now the partiality thing is a good story. I will not marry a woman that will not go to marriage counseling for 3 to 6 3 to 6 what? And at least 3 to 6 months. Okay, every other month for the first 2 years. Yeah, I get that too. But that also, Troy, depends on the mentality of you and the woman.
Absolutely.
And what understanding that you all have before y'all even get into all of that. Right. So I get what you're saying to us, but now she has to have that same mentality. What if she's not willing to do it? Then you're just not gonna marry her. Right. But that's something communication is always key about. But
can I put a pin right there?
Go ahead.
So, and this is how when I reflect on what I missed, When I got married, he didn't want to go to counseling. He didn't want to do the premarital counseling. And I finally convinced him to go. We went twice.
2 times?
Twice. And the reason that
before the marriage?
Yes, before the marriage.
So you don't think 2 was enough? You didn't think 2 was enough,
no,
or you wanted more?
No, because the minister hadn't really even started to dig into anything. And you really need to know this is it's till death, not till I get on your nerves.
Let me interrupt you. You went to premarital counseling twice. You did not deem that enough. Why then
we had 6 sessions, and his response was, I don't want people in my personal business.
Okay. And here we are.
Was the counselor someone that you both knew personally?
No.
Okay.
But it was at the church that I was a member of.
I'm saying, but would that have made a difference if it was somebody that you all knew?
No, because even when we were having issues in our marriage, he didn't want to go to counseling, and then he said, okay, well, we're not going to do counseling through the church. We'll go to just a regular counselor. And then what it boiled down to, he didn't even want to do that. So but again, looking back, I should have recognized certain signs and known that it wasn't going. But sometimes we get a little prideful, because my mother told me not to do it.
Yeah.
Mama knows best.
I was in love. I loved her
every time. Mama knows best.
I loved her.
Patrina Hill says, I think communication is key, and I feel as though a person's heart has to be pliable no matter what. If it's not, it's like beating a dead horse. And
absolutely.
That is 100% the truth.
Absolutely.
I do not think that I do think that there are some parts, I don't care how close you are, not you two, how close you are in general. I believe that there are some boundaries that should never be crossed.
Yep.
If it's from a single person to a married person.
I don't need to know about your sex life. That is not my business.
That is definitely one of the boundaries.
Throw that out there.
That's the main boundary that should not be crossed.
And that's how you let people in. That's how people get in, because now their curiosity is all over the place.
All over
the place. And watch this. You can have single people, saying to their married friend, leave them or leave her.
Let me tell you something. I'm not going. I got a friend. I got some friends going through that right now. Right now, that the prophetess told her to leave her husband.
Is the prophetess online? Is she watching?
I don't care. Because if I see her, I'm going to get her. Because that's not biblical. She told her to leave her husband low key because she wants her husband.
Say that again, because the people in the back didn't hear you.
They heard me. And I told the girl, you're a fool. First of all, divorce ain't even biblical. How you gonna let somebody who claimed to be got a word from the Lord tell you to get a divorce from your husband?
Yeah, that's foolishness, is what that is.
Okay. That's what the Bible tells you, to study for yourself. Study for yourself. Stop just letting people walk up to you and say what they wanted to, like they in the spirit. Ooh, Jesus, the Lord is telling me to tell you. He didn't tell you to say that. Shut your mouth.
Right.
Yeah, that's foolishness. That is foolishness.
And I'm sorry, I just thought about something. So during my wonderful marriage,
tell the truth, shame the devil.
When he would be mad at me, he would not have sex with me.
Well, now Lisa,
and I'm going to talk about it. So, and he knew my sex drive. Don't nobody be in my inbox tonight. So what I did, because it was frustrating, I was like, it's like I was being put on punishment So he wouldn't give me none. And I called a friend of mine and she said, biblically, that is not right.
Definitely
Biblically,
You have to
right.
And I called my married friend and I talked to her about it because I can. She's married.
And she said,
Lisa, it is not biblical.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, unless you have agreed not to
That's
have
what the
sex
Bible says.
for whatever reason, then that's different. But if he's using it as a form of punishment, he's not right.
Scriptures say touch and agree.
You want to get that?
No.
Are you all familiar with I'm sure you are. You all familiar with Shania Twain?
Yes.
Yeah. Shania Twain was married.
Mm-hmm.
She had an assistant, obviously, she's a superstar, who was also married.
Mm-hmm.
Shania ended up divorcing her husband because she found out that her assistant, who was married, was sleeping with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Strange turn of events. Shania Twain is now married to her former assistant's husband. Well, ex-husband.
You got to keep the connection going.
They did a crisscross, didn't they?
The switch on.
Yeah. That's got to be awkward at event to see your ex with your ex boss.
Mm-hmm. They done do-si-do.
That's crazy.
In the square dance.
Yeah, you remember that? I took that class.
All kind of boundaries been crossed right up and through there.
Who on this line? That's
all of them.
Okay. Naperville is known for swingers. Come hang out.
You know what? All y'all crazy.
That's a white people stuff.
We're not gonna talk about that on this show tonight. We're not gonna talk about that. That's another story. That's a whole other show. But it definitely needs to be discussed though. We did not and I'm okay with it because I believe in shifts. I believe that what was said tonight needed to have been said. Somebody needs to hear some of the stuff that we were talking about. And mainly, for me, mainly, it's the learning how to be single and happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's no, Troy.
What do you say?
No.
Come on with them. No, Troy.
Wrong answer. Stay over there.
Troy, you got to be this tall to come over here.
Y'all like 5 foot. Y'all like 5'2".
What she said, leave Naperville out of this.
I am from Naperville.
She must live in Naperville.
Mill Street, Jefferson, and Naperville North. So I've been there a little longer than yourself.
Yes, I am very afraid to have you on with them. I am very afraid.
How tall are you? Like 5'2"? Is it 5'1"? Can I look up at you? No, I look down.
You look down at Troy. I look down.
And Bishop Marshall, you ain't no better. No, y'all ain't coming back on my show.
Thank you, Saeed. No, thank you, Saeed.
Troy, what are you gonna do when you get on? Are we just gonna have prayer? You know how you do your little lunch break prayers?
You know what? I'm just gonna do this with y'all.
Did I say that?
She got to go to rehearsal. It's 8:00.
Yeah, it's 8:00, and I'm getting ready to go and eat. But I really, you all are comical, and I would love to get all of y'all together on one
Let's
show.
Do it.
But that would be like a 2-hour show. That's not gonna
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I would bring all of y'all on, and then I would just leave because I ain't got time for the shenanigans.
Especially with Saeed, it's definitely gonna be comedy hour.
I don't know Saeed. Who's Saeed?
Don't worry about it.
That's my cousin.
He a fool.
Saeed, you want to get him? No, I was about to say.
Don't get no.
I'm finna mute Lisa right now.
Mute her.
Hey, he's happily married. Praise God.
Why y'all be thinking I tried
mute her and rebuke her?
Hey, listen. I told y'all at the beginning of the show this was gonna be fun. I told y'all, I told Lisa, I told April, I told you all watching this is gonna be fun. But I don't want the fun and the laughter to overtake the seriousness of what was said on this show tonight. And it needs to be said. And also, in all seriousness, if you are married and are having, difficult times, difficult issues in your marriage, Pastor Martise is on here. He and his wife, Dr. Nancy Murphy, they actually lead my church's national and international marriage ministry. They are available. You can reach out to either him or her. And I would definitely recommend you speak with them. If you're having any issues in your marriage and you need someone to talk to, someone who is saved for real, who will not be, partial, they'll just give it to you like you're supposed to have it. Reach out to him or his wife for that. Let not all of the laughter and jokes, and we have had fun, y'all. But for those of you that are single, listen, if you desire, it's a good thing for you to desire marriage. That's good. That's a good thing. That's God put that in you for you to, if you want it, go for it. Great. But before you do that, make sure that you yourself are a whole person.
Be healed from them past relationships.
Absolutely. Because I'm telling you right now, male or female, if you are not ready, listen to me and listen to me good.
Don't do it.
You will mess up that person's life.
And you'll end up marrying the wrong one.
So, hey, I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be whole. I'm an advocate. Yes, I am. I'm an advocate for the single man because I'm saying to you, whether you male or female, I don't care. I'm saying to you that I'm living it. You can be single and happy. You can. And if it's your desire to get married, God will show you who he or she is. And you can have that if that's what you want. But make sure that you are whole first. And for those of you that are married, keep single folks out your business.
Yes,
let's
sir.
just do that. Let's just do that. Because if you let them in and they go too far, then y'all gonna fall out when you shouldn't have let them in the first place. You need, if you're married, you should have someone probably older maybe than you that you respect, that you honor, and that their marriage is not just for social media. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing right up into there, but that's all right.
I'm holding the offering basket.
We got the offering basket. Would you?
Oh, yeah. Because there are some. Listen, Pastor Martise said marriage is work, and if you don't want to work, stay unemployed.
Don't do it.
You know, unemployment good now, giving out good benefits right now. Hold on.
Hey, y'all, listen, it was good. It was fun. I'm so glad you all were on. Will y'all come back?
We absolutely will. Well, I will. I can't speak for her. I don't think I want her in my studio no more.
And I'm gonna have Troy and Saeed and Pastor Martise. I better get Nancy on here too. I'm gonna have a bunch of y'all on here, and we just gonna act up. We gonna act up. We gonna do that probably around my birthday. We'll do that.
Aren't you proud of me though? I didn't cuss on today. I didn't
I'm very proud of you.
I was trying to be.
That's why she can't get nobody. She talk too much. Who needs to know your cuss? Shut up. Let's go.
I only cuss
Have a
on
good night,
occasion.
everybody.
Y'all pray for me because this is what I have to deal with. This is what I have to deal with. Y'all ain't praying for me. Y'all don't pay Lisa no attention.
You know, and rebuke her.
Don't pay her no attention, y'all. Listen, April and Lisa, thank y'all so much for coming
Thank
on.
you
It's
for
been
having
a
us.
pleasure. I will have you all back. I might do something for my birthday. It's coming up
When is your birthday?
July.
July.
July 9th.
Okay.
Okay,
Look,
how
Stanley.
about a
Stanley.
barbecue?
It's time to go.
Negro. I said Negro.
Hey, listen. Listen, you all heard us each mention counseling and therapy. You heard us talk about that. I do want you to know that on next Tuesday night, I do actually have a family therapist coming on to the self-checkout show. She will be here. I'm super excited to have her. She's actually a member of my church, young Black woman, Danisha Collier. She will be my guest next week. She's a family therapist. She wears a lot of hats. She does a lot of work in relation to family therapy. She talks to individuals with ADHD, depression. She deals with grief. She is the real deal, and she is licensed. So if you don't even have to say nothing, but if you feel that you need some type of therapy, come on my show. Come back next Tuesday night, 7:00. Danisha Collier will be here. Hey, Darnett, thank you for joining us tonight. Everybody, this has been a blast, but you know it's 8:00. It's past 8:00, and I got to have dinner. April, Lisa, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. Next week, we'll be back Tuesday night, next Tuesday, 7:00. I'll see y'all then. Everybody have a good night. And don't forget, this week, do some self-checkout on yourself. All right?
Keep hope alive.
Talk to you. Talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.
This is a good full ace. All right. Thank you. Is it over?